Roger is an American retail company founded by Bernie Kroger in 1883 in Cincinnati, Ohio. This company has 2,500 supermarkets in 32 regions. Roger has a good reputation for the progress and roles models. For example, in the policy on the sexual harassment, Roger does not give the slightest tolerance to employees who commit sexual harassment. However, the case began in 1998 when Roger acquired Ralph, a company with 450 branches. This is when the manager of one of the Ralph shops has been sued for sexually assaulting 6 of his employees in Escondido, California. The lawsuit against Ralph occurred in 1996 by 6 female workers who were the victims of sexual harassment. The victims are Diana, Sarah, Terry, Peggy, and Tina. Several female employees of the victim report the incident to Ralph management, but the company did not take any further action on the matter and maintained its position as store manager. But the victims who are reporting on the matter were moved to a store located in another area. Due to their neglected reports, victims have collected and produced evidence showing the harassment they suffered in Misselect in 4 different stores. There have been more than 80 reports from the victims since 1985. One of the victims, Diana Scrooge, reported the incident to the Senior Vice President of Human Resources in Compton, California, to take action against those who commit sexual harassment. The report was successful because the company eventually took actions against the report by disciplining Misselect and transferred him to another Ralph store in nearby Mission Viejo. But the incident happened again and forced the company to move him back, but this time with a lower position. The trial began in April and ended in June 1998. On June, the jury decided 2 parts. In the first phase of the trial, they found that the supermarket chain was responsible for gender disruption, failure to prevent gender disruption, and repression based on the conscious neglect or safety of others. In the second sentence, in the trial phase, the jury awarded 6 women $550,000 in damage and $3,325 million in damage. In the early 2000s, Ralph management sent a disciplinary letter to Misselect because he still continued to discriminate against Ralph workers and continued to sexually harass women. 14 months after Roger acquired Ralph, the company finally suspended Misselect and he subsequently quit. After several trials, finally the judge agreed to reduce the punitive damage from $30.6 million to $8.25 million.
In my point of view, the judge is not right that the company as a whole should not be responsible for his action. This is because any company should be held responsible for their action, including Ralph. So for this issue, corporate organizations are morally responsible for their actions. And what I have learned, their actions are moral or immoral in exactly the same meaning human beings are. Therefore, Ralph are morally responsible for their action. Assume that the complaints did not reach Ralph headquarters in Captain or not.
Should the company be held responsible for policy that prevent complaint from reaching headquarters? From this case study, I found that Ralph Grocery should be held responsible. This because their management did not facilitate feedback or any complaint from employee to headquarters. This can be seen and underlined when in April 1996, the harassment suit had been filed and several women already complained to Ralph management. However, the company did not take any disciplinary action toward Misselect. Company did not remove Misselect from his position as store manager, but instead moved the complaining woman to other store. Based on compensatory justice principle, the penalty should be compensatory and punitive damage.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Noaim bint Ramli. Okay, now for the question 2 is, what kind of penalty do you believe will be appropriate for RAF? The penalty that I believe would be appropriate for RAF is compensatory and punitive damage. This penalty is based on the compensatory justice principle. Compensatory justice means fairness when restoring to a person what the person lost when he or she was wronged by someone else. I choose this penalty because RAF need to pay compensatory and punitive damage that caused by the RAF store manager. They need to get this penalty because the RAF employees has made a complaint about the RAF store manager, which is the complaint about the manager has harassed them. So RAF need to pay the compensatory damage to the employee to compensate for what they went through, and the punitive damage is a punishment that RAF must pay for not taking action on a complaint made by their employee. Okay, the next question is, in your view, was the $33.3 million penalty excessive? In my opinion, the $33.3 million penalty is excessive because the bad behavior caused by Miss Yolek does not cause all employees or victims to have the same psychological impact. It is true that all employees will get psychological impact, but some of them may have less serious consequences. In this case, there were 6 women who complained about the Miss Yolek, and all the 6 women get harassed and humiliated by him, but some of them not get a serious psychological impact. Next, the penalty also was excessive because the action that made by Miss Yolek are not related to RAF, which means that his action against all women were in his own right. So the RAF does not have to hold the whole responsibility, but they still need to take the responsibility for letting Miss Yolek still work at their company in Escondido after receiving complaints from other women. Other than that, according to the judge NLO, this penalty was excessive because RAF need to pay the punitive damage 60 times more than compensatory damage, and it was not reasonably related to the compensatory damage.
The next question is, was the final 2006 judgment fair? The judgment in 2006 was fair for the individual women because the judge has given them period for 10 days to think about compensatory damage to accept reduced award or to agree to a third trial. In 2002, there are 2 women had accept the judge reduced award equal to 15 times the compensatory that they will get in the first trial. However, there are 4 women that make the decision and they decide to reject the smaller awards because the judge has made the promise that they can return to the courtroom for another trial. Maybe they think that sexual harassment victims can suffer the same effect as rape victims in a way that they suffer mentally and physically. Therefore, they want to punish the rape. So, on 2006, they were entitled to punitive damage equal to only 6 times the compensatory damage awarded by the jury, that less than punitive award of 50 times the compensatory damage during on 2002.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Karina Zifa binti Abdul Ghani, metric number S471170. For question number 3, I think yes, Kroger have to pay for it because when the incident happened, Kroger had already acquisition route. By law, Kroger has a responsibility for all business activities that it owns. Kroger now have own route and whole responsibility for its assets and liabilities in accordance with condition and agreement made between 2 parties. As per agreement, which is Memorandum of Association, Kroger has taken all of RAP assets and liabilities together, so Kroger must pay for it. Kroger policy is zero tolerance policy for sexual harassment 1918. However, it broke their policies because even knowing Roger Mizelet's misbehavior, which is sexual harassment, it still do not fire Mizelet and let him work for 14 months after he acquired the company. So Kroger also liable for that. That's all for me. Thank you.
Now, I will continue for the answer for question 4. To ensure this situation not occur again, company can make a strict penalty to culprit. It can more effective and efficient if the employees and customer report to management. The culprit can suspend from work. So the penalty given will protect the company image. Next, by a strong and effective policy that is written with a zero tolerance policy prohibits sexual harassment. Then make some control mechanism by facilitating employees feedback, online complaint, and also manager supervision. Employees may share information with management on issues that arise, in particular sexual harassment among employees. A company can review the code of ethics and policy on abuse to ensure that the extreme case will not occur anymore. Last but not least, companies should build up the emotional hair care program for negotiate with psychiatrists to problem that the worker face on the job line.
Okay, why Ralph allowed Miss Yolik to continue managing store? Ralph allowed Miss Yolik to continue managing store because Miss Yolik had a reputation for being quick skilled at turning store around. This because of his capability to achieve profit at the store that he managed and of achieving excellent bottom line figures at the store. Ralph highly valued these qualities in its store managers. This has caused Ralph to be unwilling to dismiss workers who make mistakes just because of profit. Thus, such harassment also causes the victim to feel uncomfortable working because they do not have enough moral education in company. Ralph should play a key role and should consider the company's future, which will continue to be harmed if the following sexual harassment continues. Action by Ralph should be taken and need to prevent for the sake of the common